Ever wonder why your mother's voice shakes just a little when she tells you everything is fine? Or why she refuses a steak dinner, even when she looks like she hasn't eaten in days? Tonight I'm reading an anonymous letter from a man in Chicago, a man who thought he was a hero, until he realized his success was built on a lie. That was literally starving his mother to death. We all send the checks. We all buy the gifts. But when was the last time you looked into her fridge instead of just looking at your own bank account? This letter isn't just a story. It's a confession. It's about a hidden wooden box under a bed filled with unopened envelopes, and a daily menu that will make you look at the dinner on your table tonight with a sense of absolute terror. Mark spent 20 years climbing the ladder, only to find out that every step he took pushed his mother further into the dark. Why would a mother choose a piece of dry bread over her son's $1 million success? The answer is hidden in anonymous letter number 17. Listen closely. Before the chair across from you stays empty forever, let's explore this together, right now. You ever look at your bank account and feel like you've finally made it? Like every zero at the end of that balance is some kind of badge of honor. My name's Mark. I'm 40 years old. For 20 years, I've been climbing that corporate ladder in Chicago, believing that every promotion, every expensive watch, and every steak dinner with clients was me winning for my mom. But I was wrong. I was so damn wrong. While I was busy building a legacy, my mother was quietly, slowly fading into the dark. She'd call me on that beat-up old phone of her, and she'd always have that same soft laugh. Everything's fine, Mark. I'm doing great, honey. And I believed her. Why wouldn't I? I was busy. I had meetings, I had contracts to sign. I'd send her a check once a month and think, yeah, I'm a good son. I'm taking care of her. I ignored the cough I heard in the background. I ignored how she always refused when I tried to take her out. I just kept pushing, keep moving. More money, more success. But here's the thing about that word. Fine. Fine is the most dangerous word in the world. While I was cutting into a $50 Wagyu steak at some rooftop bar, my mom was sitting in her kitchen, alone, in the dark, looking at an empty fridge. Why would a woman starve herself for years just so her son could buy a designer watch? Why would she choose pain over asking for help? I thought I knew her. I thought I was the one providing. But the truth is, I was a stranger, living in a glass tower. Then came that Tuesday. One phone call from a place I never expected. Everything I believed for 40 years turned out to be a lie. And the truth? It's heavier than any amount of money I ever made. The doctor came in. He didn't look at my designer suit. He looked at his clipboard and his voice was low. Tired. Mr. Miller, your mother didn't just collapse from exhaustion. Her stomach, it's severely damaged. It looks like she's been living on nothing but water and dry crust for a long time, just to save every single penny. My throat went dry. I looked at my Rolex. I looked at my Italian silk tie. They felt like lead. They felt like stones tied around my neck. While I was winning in Chicago, my mother was starving in the dark. She was trading her life to pay for my future. Then her eyes fluttered open. She saw me. She didn't talk about the tubes in her arms. She didn't complain about the pain. She just reached out and whispered, "Have you eaten yet, Mark? Don't worry about me, I'm just a little tired. Honey." That lie, that beautiful, heartbreaking lie, it felt like a knife. I went back to my childhood home that night. It was freezing. No lights on, no smell of dinner waiting. Just that heavy, thick silence of an empty house. I walked into the kitchen, and I didn't smell my expensive cologne anymore. All I smelled was old bread, and that sharp medicinal scent of tiger balm, the smell of a life lived in survival mode. I went into her bedroom. I knelt by the bed, my suit trousers catching on the rough floorboards. I reached under. My fingers hit something cold. Wood. I pulled out a small battered box. I opened the lid. I expected to see jewelry, maybe some old photos, but no. Inside were every single one of those envelopes I'd sent her over the years. Every check, every gift, stacked, unopened, never touched. And then I saw it, a small notebook. The pages were yellow and curling at the edges. I started reading her daily menu. Monday, 1 slice of bread, water. Tuesday, 1 small apple from the clearance bin. Wednesday, not hungry. Every entry had a number next to it. $5, $10, the savings. I flipped to the last page. There was the birthday card for my 40th. She never got to mail it. Tucked inside was a pile of small bills, wrinkled but smoothed out with so much care. Next to it, an overdue electricity bill for $42.50. She lived in the dark, so she wouldn't have to touch the money for Mark. There was a note at the bottom. "Mark, I know you have everything, but this is my own savings. I don't need it. Go buy yourself a nice tie. Don't skip meals to work like I do, honey. It hurts too much. It hurts too much." I looked at my shoes. They cost more than 1,000 meals for her. I've won every negotiation in my career. I've closed million-dollar deals. But looking at that box, I realized I'd lost everything. I was a success to the world, but I was a failure to the one person who mattered. I wanted to fix it. I thought I could just buy my way out of the guilt. A few weeks later, after she was discharged, I took her to the most expensive restaurant in Chicago, a place where a single dinner costs more than her rent for a whole year. I wanted to wash away the smell of that old kitchen. I wanted to erase those yellowed coupons with white tablecloths and silver spoons. I ordered the Wagyu steak, the best in the world. I pushed the plate toward her, smiling like a man who had everything under control. "Eat, Mom. Don't look at the price. I can buy 1,000 of these for you." She looked at the plate. Then she looked at me. Her eyes, they weren't happy. They were just tired. She picked up the knife. Her hand was shaking so hard the silver clattered against the porcelain. Clink, clink. She took one tiny bite. Just one. And then she froze. Her whole body started to tremble. Her face went pale, gray, like ash. She tried to swallow, but her throat tightened up. I could see the veins in her neck straining, fighting. She grabbed a napkin and coughed into it, a muffled, agonizing sound. Her stomach, the one she had starved for 20 years to pay for my degree, it couldn't handle the kindness. It had shrunk. It had withered away. It was rejecting the very food I was so proud to give her. I rushed to her side. I held her thin shoulders. "Mom, what's wrong? Should I call the doctor? She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face, gasping for air between the pain. I'm sorry. Mark, I tried. I really tried. But my stomach, it doesn't know how to eat anymore. It spent too many years waiting for you to come home. But you came home too late. Those words, they didn't just hurt. They destroyed me. I looked at that expensive steak. I looked at the fancy people around us. It was all garbage, trash. Every $1 million contract, every luxury car, it was worthless. I'd climbed to the top of the world just to find out. I was standing there all alone, holding a dying woman who couldn't even swallow a piece of the success I'd built on her grave. My mother passed away on a quiet spring morning. Not long after that dinner, she went out like a leaf fallen from a tree, peaceful, light. There was still a tiny faint smile on her lips, the smile of someone who had finally finished her life's biggest contract, raising me with everything she had. I'm still a successful businessman. I still live in that high-rise apartment with the panoramic view. But my sense of taste, it's changed forever. Now, when I sit at those fancy gala dinners, I don't see the glitz. I don't see the prestige. I just see a woman with cracked, calloused hands. And I hear those beautiful, selfless lies. I'm full, Mark. I already ate. I learned how to stop. I started saying no to the meaningless meetings so I could get home early and actually cook a simple meal for my family. Because I realized a brutal truth. The peak of success isn't when you can buy the whole world. It's when you still have someone to call and hear them say they're waiting for you to come home for dinner. Tonight, when this letter ends, I don't want you to send your mom a check. I want you to pick up the phone. Don't ask her if she needs anything. Just ask her, "What did you eat today, Mom? Are you hurting anywhere?" Or better yet, if you can, drive home tomorrow, just to sit and have a bowl of warm soup with her. If this story touched your heart, please send this to a friend who is too busy, just like I used to be. Don't let them taste the bitterness of a late steak at a 5-star restaurant. Subscribe to join us as we listen and heal through these anonymous letters. Because in this life, money can be replaced. But a dinner with your mother? That's a one-time offer. Don't wait until the chair across from you is permanently empty to realize what family actually means.